What if you could book one award flight but take two different trips? I'm talking about spending days or even weeks in a second destination for just 5,000 extra points. This is not only possible but actually fairly simple to do with Air Canada Aeroplan points. Before I jump into the booking process, let's quickly cover what I'm actually talking about here. It's called a stopover, and it's one of those underutilized perks in the world of points and miles that people either don't know or forget about. Now, what is a stopover exactly? Well, you know a layover, that's just a connection lasting less than 24 hours. But a stopover is anything lasting longer than 24 hours. And with Air Canada's Aeroplan, you can add a stopover to your trip for just 5,000 extra points. And the best part is Air Canada lets you make that stopover last for up to 45 days if you want to. This means you could be flying from New York to Portugal, but on the way there, stop in Switzerland for a week or two, and then you got two incredible vacations on a single award flight ticket. And yes, this can be either in economy or business class as you please. Now, who exactly could take advantage of this, and who is this really for? Well, it can be for just about anybody. Air Canada is a transfer partner with every major credit card company except Citibank and Wells Fargo, which makes earning points pretty easy so long as you have flexible points with Chase, Amex, Capital One, or Bilt. Now, there are a few simple rules for booking a stopover with Air Canada. One is you can only book one stopover per one-way ticket. Two, that stopover cannot be in the United States or Canada. And three, you can't fly in and out of a single city twice on a one-way itinerary. It's not very likely you do this, but here's an example. Let's say you're flying from JFK to Istanbul, but you have a quick layover in Frankfurt, and you decide to have that stopover in Istanbul for a few days before flying from Istanbul to Frankfurt for your last segment. You can't do that because Frankfurt shows up twice on that itinerary. And then the last thing is that your itinerary has to be logical. Don't try to be super cute with it. You can't start and fly from Frankfurt to Singapore, have a stopover in Singapore, and then from Singapore to Switzerland. It just doesn't work that way. And that's about it. The rules are simple enough. Now, there are two ways I want to show you on how to go about looking for these deals. One trap that I'm going to show you that could potentially make you spend more points than you actually wanted to, and then one trick that could actually save you money on United flights specifically. So let's get into it. Before getting into the stopover business, let's pretend we're just casually looking for flights from Orlando over to Spain for next summertime. And my favorite place to start is on Points Daydream Explorer because it's fast and it gives you kind of easy ideas that may already be there without thinking too hard. So you're just going to type in Orlando, Spain, and type in the date range that you're looking for. Let's say we're flexible between May and July. When you hit yeah, it's going to give you all the different searches. So let's go to our filters for business class. And let's say we've only got American Express points because it's given us American Airlines options now. And then for some reason it went to July, so I'm just going to go to previous 60 days to where we were. And then voila, it gives us two options from Orlando over to Barcelona with one stop each on Air Canada. So let's say we're interested in this May 31st. It gives us this option. Let's do a real-time search to make sure that it is still available here. It'll take a few seconds and then it shows us that this is a live result and it is still available. It's from Orlando with a layover in Munich over to Barcelona. And so now we can just hit view detail and then yeah, let's go. And it'll take you to Air Canada's website and after you log in, it'll take you to the result. You may not see it up top, so you may need to filter this business class button here to sort it from the lowest to the highest. And there you go. You got Orlando with almost a 17-hour layover in Munich, and then you finally go on to Barcelona. It looks like you're flying on Discover Airlines on the way there, and then Lufthansa on that second leg. This is one of those first ways of trying to look for this award availability. You could find just a single flight with a layover that maybe sounds like a good idea to make a stopover instead. So instead of just a long travel day over to Spain, you can actually maybe break this up to a vacation in Germany and then moving on to Spain. So let's see if that is indeed possible. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to slide up, go to modify, and then if you're looking for two adults, of course, switch this over to two adults. See how we're probably automatically search for one adult unless you change that setting. And then we're going to select this multi-city / stopover button here. It's going to change the screen, and now you've got flight 1 and flight 2 here. Just go ahead and remove this flight 2. That'll bring this stopover city option here. So this is looking from Orlando to the final destination, Barcelona. Our stopover city, as we saw here, is going to be Munich. Just type that here. The length of stopover, let's say we want to spend a week here. So it just gives you the option of the number of days. It doesn't give you the option of like, oh, this is the day I want to fly out. Just be careful whenever you look at your final itinerary. I'll tell you why. But from here, we're going to go ahead and hit find. And then after it's done loading, scroll down, again, filter if needed. And then here you go. You've actually got a few options of itineraries to choose from. The reason why I tell you to look out for this final itinerary is because sometimes, depending on that time that you depart and arrive, you'll see that you'll find yourself getting to different places on actual different dates. So play around with the length of layover as needed for your preferred dates. as you can see, it's just 5,000 more points, maybe a little bit more in taxes and fees. And so from here, you can see that it's available. Transfer your points over to Air Canada from whichever bank, redo the search, and then book this itinerary here. So that's the first way I think is easy to find these routes here. It's just kind of find a natural layover and then decide to extend it to a stopover instead. One note I want to make is that I got lucky that there was indeed availability with this 7-day stopover. Sometimes that's not the case, because from the first flight that we found, we knew for sure that there was a business class flight from Orlando over to Munich at least, but I don't know for sure if this Munich to Barcelona business class availability is there every single day. So if I didn't find it on the 7-day stopover length, I may go back and modify and try different lengths of stopover to see if it is indeed available or not. And part of that is just kind of luck. You could search that one-way segment between Munich and Barcelona to see whenever you find business class flight availability and then redo the stopover search. I think that's a bit too much. I would prefer just to change the stopover date one at a time until you get lucky. So now what if you want to be more intentional with your search in terms of like crafting your itinerary and what stopover you want? For that, I turn to a tool called seats.aero, because what we're going to need to do is find that award availability on that business class segment across the Atlantic first, and then try to add on our second destination from there. Seats.aero is one of my favorite tools. I'm going to have an affiliate link down in the description for you. If you make a purchase through there for seats.aero or points, it's a great way to support this channel at no cost to you. And the pro subscription of seats.aero is kind of necessary, because with the free version, you only get 60 days of award availability. With the pro subscription, you get a full year. So we'll toggle that on and then search your filters to search from North America over to Europe. And then it'll give you a whole lot of award availability from everywhere. Let's say we're still flying from Florida. Let's look at Miami. And let's say in this instance, we're actually trying to fly to Portugal and then maybe to Rome afterwards, two hot destinations, right? And so if we sort this business class availability by clicking here and making sure that the lowest price is up top, and then you can hold down the shift key. And let's say we're trying to book next summer, which the latest award availability at this price is going to be in May 3rd. Let's say I'm not picky and we're going to go for that one. Just a little bit of getting you oriented here. The green means it's a direct flight that's available. If you see a blue rectangle like this, that means the route has connections, is what this availability is going to be like. And then we could click this I button here, click on this business class tab if it's not already open. It's going to show you that the route is from Miami to Lisbon on tap Portugal here, 70,000 points and $78. So you can either click this book button or you can scroll down and click book via Air Canada, and it will take you over to Air Canada's website where you log in, etc. So once it's done loading here, you can scroll down and make sure to sort for the lowest value here. And you see that route from Miami to Lisbon. Now this only has one seat available, unfortunately. So that's one frustrating thing, is that you may have to do multiple searches to find 2 seats available if that's what you're needing. Let's say we're only looking for 1 person right now. So we can go to modify, select multi-city / stopover, remove this second flight. And now for this one, the Lisbon section is going to be our stopover city, because that's where we found our first stop. So we're going to spend 7 days in Lisbon, we'll say, and then our end destination is going to be Rome. So you'll type in that airport code here, and then you'll select find, and then we can scroll down here, and there is 2 nonstop options over to Rome with that 7-day stopover. Now sometimes you'll see a list of results here, and this mixed cabin will actually be in red text. You'll highlight over it and it might say like 13% in business class. That means this long haul segment is actually in economy, and this second one's in business class. You're going to want to avoid that at all costs, because it's not going to be a cheaper price. It's still going to be the same price as if the whole thing's in business class. That's one way you can kind of manufacture your itinerary. Now I want to show you a little trap that can occur as you're trying to find these stopover itineraries. Let's say you find this flight from New York to Switzerland on seats.aero or points, and you find that it's 60,000 points one way in business class. And then now let's pretend you want to go on a stopover again to Portugal. So I'll move this Geneva, go to Lisbon here, 7 days, hit find. And as we scroll down here, sort for the lowest price, we'll see these mixed cabin award availability in red text showing that 19%, which we want to avoid, but we actually see this full business class award flight here. So this is nonstop from JFK to Geneva, and then from Geneva to Lisbon, all on Swiss Airlines business class, all for 75,000 points. And so that's kind of where the question is. How do we get from 60,000 points to 75,000? I thought it was supposed to be a 5,000 charge for the stopover. Here's what happened. Air Canada has this award chart that's both region-based and distance-based. So JFK to Geneva is going to fall within this 0 to 4,000 distance band. So business class is going to cost 60,000 points, because as you can see, it's only 3,800 miles between the two if you use the circle map feature on seats.aero. And then if we add Lisbon to the itinerary, that pushes pushes us to 4,780 miles, which pushes us to that 70,000 point band. And then you add the 5,000 stopover charge from there, resulting in 75,000 points. And if we look it up, that route from Geneva to Lisbon, that costs 15,000 points on its own. So you're really not saving any miles, maybe just 10 to 20 bucks on taxes and fees by making it one itinerary. So you're not really losing miles in this instance, but this could become a bigger factor. Maybe if you're searching from the West Coast and then that bumps up to 95,000 points, or if there is a cheaper alternative partner to book with like ANA or maybe even Avianca Life Miles, where you could get that JFK to Geneva route for even cheaper, saving 10,000 points or more. So that is something to look out for whenever you're looking for these stopover itineraries. And then one last final counterpoint here is that let's say you find this business class award availability from San Francisco to Frankfurt on United for 80,000 points, and then you add a stopover for 7 days and go to Paris after your time in Germany or Frankfurt, you'll see that the price actually decreases to 75,000 points. The reason why this is because Air Canada prices United flights differently compared to other Starlines airlines like Lufthansa. So whenever a partner airline like Lufthansa, TAP Portugal, or any of the ones we've talked about so far, that price actually gets decreased to their partner pricing, which I showed you earlier on that chart. Therefore, it goes down a little bit. This is kind of a rare occurrence, but something to be aware of. This is also true not just with stopovers, but if there's a layover, like if your long haul is on United and then you got a layover to your final destination Paris, that flight is going to be on the partner pricing, not the United pricing, no matter how short that connecting flight is. Now, I want to leave you with a tip that might make this a little bit more easier. This is my transfer partner guide that's free for you to download down in the description. But if you scroll towards the bottom here, I have the list of all the different airline alliances here. Air Canada is part of the Star Alliance. And so knowing the airlines within the Star Alliance might make it easier to know which destinations to include in your search to have the best luck on finding nonstop flight. If we look at this list of airlines here, you can see you've got Air Canada, but you've also got Austrian Airlines. So that means you might be able to find flights to and from Vienna pretty easily. Brussels is included in here. You've got Croatia Airlines, so you can maybe find some itineraries going to Croatia pretty easily as a stopover. You've also got LOT Polish, so this would be Warsaw. Lufthansa, that's why you see so many with Munich and Frankfurt. Swiss Airlines gets you to Frankfurt and Geneva. TAP Portugal can get you to Porto and Lisbon. And then you got Turkish Airlines, so you can easily go maybe to a European destination, then go to Istanbul, or vice versa. And these stopovers also work with Asian destinations, so you got Japan, Taipei, etc. But I find that the competition for Asian destinations are pretty high, so you may struggle on finding 2 or more seats available through Air Canada. So that's Air Canada's stopover program, and it's a great tool to have in your toolkit. But don't get lost in the weeds here, because sometimes all you really need is just a cheap business class fare. And there are a lot of other great programs to use besides Air Canada. And so if you're interested in finding more about those cheap fares, you'll want to check out this video here. My name is Michael with Nurse Michael Travels. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.